Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Vintage Cube draft. We are starting with a Black Lotus today. Only the best card in all of Magic, arguably. So we're going to take Black Lotus, see what's open. There is a Mox Diamond. I mean, Mox Diamond is kind of a broken card. Alongside a Black Lotus, we can just play a 5-drop on turn 1. I also think Mox Diamond probably keeps us the most open out of all the cards in this pack. Otherwise, we could take like a, I don't know, a bribery. But I'm gonna take Mox Diamond. Man, I love this art. I think this Black Lotus art looks awesome. It's not something you get to see that often. This is the first time in like the last 30 drafts that I've gotten a Black Lotus. So the first time this iteration of Vintage Cube that I've gotten to see it. Oh man, I wish I had a slightly better spot for my mic, because like here it's actually in my way and blocking, and like out here it's distracting for people. So I can't really like raise it up or anything because of the way that the stand is mounted. It's just an awful situation all the way around. So I'll move it back to where I had it. But, okay, there's a Mystic Confluence, there's a Lotus Bloom. We can just go for double Lotus power. Phyrexian Revoker. Seen a lot of blue cards come around. I do like Mystic Confluence a lot. We could take Memory Deluge. Krasis is fun. I don't know. I want to draft something broken. And Mystic Confluence is a really powerful control card. There's also Skyclave Apparition, and we could draft like a white deck with Black Lotus in it. And that would be pretty strong, because like playing Revoker and Skyclave Apparition on turn 1 would be pretty decent, I imagine. But I'll take Mystic Confluence. We'll see if blue's open. We'll just do the Vintage Cube thing. Try and have some fun doing it. It is still ungodly hot here. Like 98 degrees today. Just the kind of day that makes you absolutely despise being outside with every fiber of your being. So I'm hiding in a basement where it's nice and cool. We could make this a Chandra deck. I think Chandra is probably like the best card out of this pack. I mean, she's kind of situational. But if you can play Chandra Torch of Defiance on turn 1, you have a mana advantage, you have card advantage. I think that's probably good. And, like, is a color combination. There's a Time Spiral. Manamorphose, there's a Fury, and there's a Time Warp. Do love me some Time Warp. I'm going to take the Time Spiral. Time Spiral's fun. Leaves us open to like getting a high tide and doing something really silly. I'm not going to try and like force Storm with Black Lotus, although the best Storm decks do contain Black Lotus, for sure. But, you know, whatever happens, I guess. We could just play like Blue-Red Control and get like Narset Parter Avails and have draw 7s and stuff. There's a Chrome Mox. There's a Soulfire Grandmaster. There's a Time Warp going around earlier in this pack. You know what? I'll take a Chrome Mox. Let's just draft Moxes and Lotuses and get draw 7s and do something silly. The deck's got Black Lotus in it. It's got to be good, right? Once again, I apologize if there's any background noise. It is the air conditioner running, and I don't have a lot of control over that. Regrowth. Regrowth can actually enable some pretty broken stuff in a lot of decks. Otherwise, I'm taking something like Nahiri. Like, turn 1 Planeswalkers is a thing, and it's a good thing against a lot of decks. But like, Regrowth, if we get some powerful spells, we can just pick them back up and cast them again. It's technically a ritual with Black Lotus. Like, not a good one, but it is one. I think I'll take Nahiri here. See, there's a Young Pyro, Wormcoil Engine, there's Breach. Underworld Breach, Black Lotus, Brain Freeze is absolutely a combo. And it's a redundant combo if you have Lion's Eye Diamond. The other option is taking a Plateau if I wanted fixing for Nahiri, or taking a Young Pyro. I think I'm going to take Breach. Breach is just a really powerful card. There's a Past in Flames, there's a Sphinx of the Steel Wind, there's an Esper, Triome, or a Lightning Helix. I said I wasn't going to force Storm, and I feel like I'm trying to make Storm happen. Alright, I might be forcing Storm. We're taking Past in Flames. There is a Desperate Ritual. Escape to the Wilds might actually be pretty good in a deck like this, but we'll take the Desperate Ritual. I do like some Liliana, though she doesn't really fit in the deck. Neither do any of these other cards. And like taking Liliana could leave me open to like playing a black-red or a black-blue deck or something. Otherwise, I could take Krasis, but I'll take Liliana. We'll take a Ketria Triome. We'll go with a Manamorphose here. I guess a Vindicate into the sideboard. And we get Halana and Elena. Alright, well we got some Storm cards, I would argue. We're probably not playing Liliana or Nahiri, but the rest of these I can see playing. Like, I would play Chandra in a Storm deck, especially with Black Lotus, because this actually gets you from like 4 to 6 mana to play something like 1,000 Year Storm is the word that I'm trying to come up with here. So there's a Demonic Tutor and a whole bunch of Signets. I think Demonic Tutor is the most broken card in this pack, other than maybe like Spellseeker, but we don't have like Recall or anything. So I'm going to take Demonic Tutor. It's very strong. Okay. So there's a Strip Mine. Strip Mine's fun. There's a Grixis Triome, Ravenous Chupacabra. There's a Tezzeret. Tezzeret does tutor for Lotus, which can be a very powerful thing. I think I take the Xander's Lounge here. It's Xander's Lounge or Tezzeret. I do need more fixing to play like basically any form of any deck I want to play here, but I'm going to go with the Xander's Lounge first. We'll see how this works out. There's a Mind's Desire. Mind's Desire is a Storm win condition. It means that we can just play like a bunch of derpy top-end creatures like Eldrazi or something and win the game with them. So I will be taking Mind's Desire. There's a Worn Power Stone for ramp. Not seeing any Storm cards in this pack, really. Lurrus does let us replay Black Lotus. we could Black Lotus, cast Lurrus, replay Black Lotus. Like, that's gotta be good, right? It is a black card. We could run it alongside Demonic Tutor. We could end up in like a Rakdos grindy deck, too, depending on what starts coming around here. Like, if we start getting like Croxas and stuff like that. Because none of these other cards are cards I'm going to play in Storm, with the exception of, like, maybe Worn Power Stone, so. We'll take Lurrus. There's Turnabout. I have a suspicion that a lot of the Storm cards are going to be in Pack 3. I will take Turnabout out of this pack. If I was going to try and do the Rakdos deck, like, I could take Sulfuric Vortex or Figure of Destiny, but we'll take Turnabout. Let's see, Hazoret, Jokulhops. There's Archon of Cruelty. Not a huge fan of Creeping Tar Pit. There's a Golgari Signet. That does technically fix for us. Is there a world where we can play Archon in a non-reanimator deck? It's like we could Mind's Desire into it. We could just cast it off of Black Lotuses. Like, I'm going to take Archon. There's Bolus's Citadel with Brain Freeze. We've got Brain Freeze, Breach, Black Lotus. That's a combo. So I'm hoping we wheel Bolus's Citadel, because with Lotus, it's like actually hard castable. There's also a Mishra's Workshop and a Memory Jar. We should get something out of this pack. And hopefully it's not Makeshift Mannequin. But I am going to take Brain Freeze. There's Blightsteel, but I haven't seen Tinker. Probably should take the Firebolt for early interaction. We have no 1-drops currently. I would not mind the Dimir Signet either. I'll go with the Firebolt. This lets us win with 1,000 Year Storm if we get 1,000 Year Storm. Okay, Bitter Blossom, Eidolon, Mizium Mortars, Boros Signet. I should probably just take the Signet here. I don't think this is a Karmic Guide deck. Moto auto-suggestions. Bitter Blossom is strong, but we don't have the cards to like make it work necessarily. Mizium Mortars we could play as removal, but I don't think we're going to need a lot of removal. Tezzeret came around, as did Thrawn Dynamo. Hopefully that means nobody's in artifacts. I'm going to take Tezzeret. Yeah, anything that can like tutor a Lotus into play is great. We can also tutor Mox Diamond or Chrome Mox for, you know, 0 down tick. He does actually become an alternate win condition if you have enough artifacts in your deck, which is great. Take Plow Under and put it in the side. Do love me some Plow Under. We will take Croxa and put him in the side, along with a Sulfuric Vortex, I'm guessing. We do really want Yawgmoth's Will rather than Past in Flames if we can find it, because Yawg Will makes Black Lotus even more broken than it is normally. We'll put Hazoret in the sideboard. So, like, Mono Red appears to be open with Sulfuric Vortex and Hazoret the Fervent going late. And we get a Workshop. We do not get a Citadel, unfortunately. So in this pack, there is an Urza, a Preordain, and an Imperial Seal, along with an Underground Sea. I would like to take Urza, because Black Lotus Urza turn 1 seems good. Then he makes all of your other artifacts Mox Sapphires. I would also really like Preordain. I have a tapped Underground Sea. I don't have High Tide. Maybe I am just supposed to take, like, Preordain? The last deck I drafted suffered from not having enough card draw. And, like, we have some really powerful stuff. Maybe I just take Preordain. We can get, like, Urza, Is It Signet, or Underground Sea. Well, probably not going to get Underground Sea, but Urza or Is It Signet, perhaps. Watery Grave, Dark Ritual. There's a Coalition Relic and a Miscalculation. I think I'm supposed to take Miscalc and try and wheel Dark Ritual. I'm also probably not playing Archon. I'm probably not playing Lurrus either, but... Trinket Mage is free Storm when you have Black Lotus, but it might come around because some of the artifact stuff was coming around late. I'm going to take the Miscalc. There's Baral. There's Arachdos Signet. There's Expressive Iteration. We do have a lot of zeros in this deck. We could actually make Expressive Iteration work as a draw to, and this card is really busted strong, and is both of our primary colors. I was just complaining about my last deck not having enough card draw, so I'm going to take Expressive Iteration. There's a Steam Vents, there's an Upheaval. Upheaval's kind of funny, but I think we want more Mana Rocks if we're going to do that. I will take Steam Vents. That is good fixing for us because we are blue-red. I would like a blue fetch if I can get it, but I could, you know, I don't need it. I would just really like it. There's Thousand Year Storm, there's LED. There's Urza's Saga. Urza's Saga getting a Lotus is crazy. I'm going to take LED and try and wheel Thousand Year Storm. We effectively just have, like, double Lotus power now. So we have 2 Lotus effects that can get us to Underworld Breach and Brain Freeze, which will just kill our opponent on the spot. Okay, Frantic Search is great for Storm purposes, so we will be taking Frantic Search. This is probably a Charticourse deck or an Azorius Signet deck. Let me think about this. We are hoping to wheel Thousand Year Storm. We do have a burn spell. I'm going to take Charticourse. Maybe I'm supposed to take the Signet because I have 2 Moxen and a Tezzeret. I have a little more card draw than last time. I'm going to take the Signet. Coercive Portal could be good. I'm probably supposed to take Expansion Explosion, so I'm going to do that. Let's see. Brazen Borrower is good. Like, it's just a good, like, permanent removal spell. It's something that we could use to get, like, a Thalia out of the way. Black Lotus Avalanche Riders is really funny, but it's not very good. I will take Brazen Borrower. So we found no fetch lands, is what I'm seeing here. We did get a Dark Ritual, though. Although other than Demonic Tutor, we don't really have any cards that we need to be ritualing into. It's basically going to be colorless mana. Maybe I'm supposed to take Fire Blast then? Or Breeding Pool, but once again, no fetches, no High Tide. We'll take Dark Ritual. It could, like, help us cast some Mana Rocks, I guess. Is this a deck that wants Baral? We do have Turnabout, Frantic Search, Brain Freeze, Miscalc, Confluence, Mind's Desire, Time Spiral. All of those things get better with Baral. Or I can take another Signet. I think I take Baral here. Random Huntmaster into the side. We do wheel Thousand Year Storm. Forge Master and Finks into the side. Alright. So we definitely have enough to build a deck here. Question is exactly what deck are we going to build out of these cards? What cards are we going to cut? So I'm probably not playing Lurrus. As awesome as, like, Black Lotus Lurrus recast Black Lotus is, it's kind of memey because, like, I mean, like, if we had more black cards and we could, like, Dark Ritual Lurrus out on turn 1 and then play something out of the grave, it might be better. But it's probably not actually good enough. Okay. So we need a lot of lands. We need, like, at least 16 lands in addition to these artifacts. So we have to make a lot of cuts. So let's see what we're dealing with here. I think Demonic Tutor is strong enough that we run it, even if we have to splash it off Xander's Lounge. Dark Ritual is kind of on the chopping block. Boros and Azorius Signet, both filter for white, neither of which we need. It's too bad we didn't get that Is It Signet. Let's go for, like, an all-in Storm list first. So I'm going to cut Brazen Borrower. This doesn't seem like a deck that's going to generate a ton of mana, because we don't have High Tide or a mana doubler, so I don't think Expansion Explosion is going to be good. At least in, like, the main game plan here. Because we don't have Yawgmoth's Will. We have Underworld Breach, which is arguably more broken than Yawgmoth's Will. And our only rituals besides Dark Ritual are Manamorphose, Desperate Ritual. So we really need Underworld Breach to, like, make Black Lotus Lion's Eye Diamond good. I might actually cut Past in Flames here, because I don't know that flashing back Past in Flames is actually going to be good at any point. I think we have to go all in on this Underworld Breach. And then I need to cut one card on top of all of this. And I think it's Dark Ritual. I think Dark Ritual is the worst card in our deck, surprisingly. Okay, so we can run Xander's Lounge, Steam Vents, and this is a mountain island, so we can run Ketria Triome. And then add some basics. There's one swamp. So we have one swamp, Mox Diamond, Black Lotus, Manamorphose to cast Demonic Tutor. That's it. That's all we got. And I think that is actually and we have Xander's Lounge, too. I think that's all we need to actually cast this Demonic Tutor, so... Alright, I think we got a deck. Hopefully it's super sweet, and I'll see you guys in round 1. Alrighty, welcome to round 1, everybody, for mulliganing for a hand that doesn't have Black Lotus. This hand is also not that great. We're going to 5. Yeah, you know what? Sure. Let's do it. How do we make this work? We can put back Thousand Year Storm, Mind's Desire, and then, like, Black Lotus, sack for black, Demonic Tutor, get Underworld Breach, and play Boros Signet, or something crazy like that. Or we can just, like, try and cast a Signet after getting a land and then Mind's Desire or something. Alright, we're putting back Thousand Year Storm and Azorius Signet. Let's do this. Don't duress me, bro. Okay, opponent starts Plains. We draw a mountain. That's actually kind of good for us. Start by playing an island. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a second Plains into a Mox Ruby. And plays an Adeline Resplendent Cathar. We untap and draw Chandra. I mean, we just, like, Black Lotus out Chandra, right? Kill Adeline? Stop all aggression? We don't have black mana for Demonic Tutor, then. I can actually play Boros Signet first. Yeah, so play a mountain, play Boros Signet, Black Lotus for red mana, add red-white, play Chandra, kill Adeline, pass the turn. Alright. Hopefully Chandra doesn't just die before we get to do anything with her. That was fun. I really wish we could have played her on turn 1. That would have been amazing. So opponent plays Spectral Procession. I don't uptick Chandra for mana, do I? No, we uptick for card/advantage. We cannot cast an island. We cannot cast a Demonic Tutor, so let's just play out this Ketria Triome, because I don't really want to cycle it. Unfortunately, Chandra is going to die. Dang it. I knew I should have gone for the Mind's Desire. Okay, opponent kills Chandra. We untap. We draw Brawl. Okay. Brawl's a card. Play Brawl. Pass the turn. So now if we can draw like a black mana source, or if Brawl gets pathed here, please be path and not swords. Okay. Opponent decides against whatever they were doing. They play a Porcelain Legionnaire. And attack me for 3? Sure. We take 3. And we untap. We draw Turnabout. I can Turnabout myself and cast Mind's Desire. It seems a little weak. No, I need one more land to do that. Okay. So we're going to pass. Okay, opponent plays an Intrepid Adversary. I need to draw mana, or I'm going to have to Turnabout to stay alive. Okay. Opponent attacks us for 10. We go to 7. Untap. There's an island. Okay, well, I guess we're going for the tiny Turnabout into Mind's Desire play. Turnabout myself. Let's tap Ketria Triome for a reasonable color of magic, like blue. Okay. Then we say... No! I needed Baral to stay alive for this to work. So, okay. Alright. You got me, opponent. Alright, opponent is on an aggressive deck. Do we have anything we can bring in that will help us stay alive? Maybe Brazen Borrower? And that might be better than... what would that be better than? Like, possibly Tezzeret here? Because Tezzeret's not going to give us a ton of value by, like, untapping stuff or anything. It's literally just a tutor for Lotus or LED. Let's try that. I would like to play first. I mean, we've got all the mana in the world, but nothing to do with it. Maybe I'm supposed to keep this because of Firebolt? I'm going to mulligan. This hand's a little better. I think there's a lot of good draws with this hand. The question is, like, do I want to keep Mind's Desire or Time Spiral? And I think the answer is to put back Mind's Desire. Lead on an island, pass the turn. I'm going to place a Plains and a Mox Pearl into Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. This might be like Nightmare scenario. They have Sword of Feast and Famine, which is not good for my health. We draw another island, play an island, pass the turn. I'm not to, like, Desperation of Manamorphose for removal or anything yet, but this is not good for me. I'm going to play as a Plains. They attack me for 1. Are they just casting Sword? They're casting Finks. Okay. I was gonna say, if they're, like, casting Sword, what if I had a counterspell? That would have been bad for you. Okay, Underworld Breach is good. Play Mountain. They can play and equip Sword next turn. I'm gonna Manamorphose and see if I can't get a Firebolt to deal with Stoneforge Mystic. So I want to filter into red, black. Okay, we drew Demonic Tutor. So I can Demonic Tutor... I can Demonic Tutor for Black Lotus. Or I can Demonic Tutor for LED, and then next turn just have Breach, Breach, LED, discard my hand, get mana, Demonic Tutor, Brain Freeze, win, I think? So I think that's the play. We're going to Demonic Tutor for LED. And the reason I'm getting LED and not Black Lotus is because I'm going to need cards in my out of my hand in the grave for escape cost. And my deck would be better if I had fetches because of it, but we'll get LED, then pass. I'm glad I filtered for black there, though. So opponent's going to probably play and equip Sword of Feast and Famine. We really just have to dodge, like, Thalia in their second main phase. We're going to discard Time Spiral. Okay, we discard Time Spiral. They untap their lands. Just cast, like, a Spectral Procession or Porcelain Legionnaire. Okay, we untap. We draw Ketria Triome. Now, I think we have just enough mana to make this work. So we play Island, we play LED, we cast Breach, sack for black, then we Demonic Tutor, exiling stuff that is not LED. We go get Brain Freeze, which goes to our hand, Brain Freeze ourself, then we LED, exiling stuff that we're not going to cast. Get blue mana. LED. Get blue mana. Brain Freeze our opponent. Oh, I exiled Thousand Year Storm, didn't I? That's actually a mistake. As if my opponent, for some reason, decided to bring in, I don't know, a giant Eldrazi for the mill here. I would actually need to play Thousand Year Storm out of my grave and then Firebolt them. But thankfully, I don't think that's what's happening here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll target the rest of me. In case I need to cast anything else. Oh, I think that covers it. Do they have Thalia? If they do, they do, okay. They have Thalia, they have Mana Tithe, they have Mox Pearl. Opponent's deck is sweet. Alright. Any adjustments? I don't think so. Let's just run it back. Okay, we have Brawl. We have Miscalc. I am going to keep this, because this is potentially a turn 1 Miscalc, if we need it. So I can start Island, Mox Diamond, pitching Xander's Lounge. And next turn I can play Brawl, and then have Miscalc backup for Brawl, which is pretty sweet. Unlicensed Hearse. Yeah, let's not allow that. Because we're probably going to need our Grave to win. Play an Island. Play Brawl. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. 3 mana. They have a Kitchen Finks. Okay. We untap. We draw Frantic Search. Frantic Search gains us a mana. So we can go from 4 to 5 and then cast Mind's Desire. But there's no reason to do that yet. Other than, like, our opponent may draw removal for Brawl. Yeah, I think we just wait. Okay. Opponent plays a Plains. They have 4 mana now. 4 mana, they play Parallax Wave. They just exile Brawl. Okay. So Frantic Search now mana neutral again. We take 3. We draw Chrome Mox. We can play this as just a Storm Count. So I'm going to play Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. Okay. Parallax Wave fades to 3. Opponent plays their 5th land. Plays a Sword of Feast and Famine. Equips Sphinx with Sword. So we have to discard Chrome Mox here, I think. Okay. An opponent plays Spectral Procession. So they're representing 8 damage next turn. We draw a Mystic Confluence, which we can use to unsummon Finks and draw 2 cards. That actually seems pretty good here. It's only really bad if we get Mana Tithed. If we get Mana Tithed, we are in trouble. I think we do have to try and do it in combat, even though that gives my opponent another opportunity to draw Mana Tithe. Because otherwise they can just equip sort of Feast and Famine to a Spirit and hit us with that. Okay. So Parallax Wave ticks down to 2. Opponent goes to combat and attacks. So we cast Mystic Confluence, draw a card, return a creature to its owner's hand. Or draw 2 cards, return a creature to its owner's hand. Okay, they did not have Mana Tithe, thankfully. We take 3 and go to 9. They replay Finks. Then they equip a Spirit and play a land, representing Mana Tithe. We untap. We draw an island. Okay. I think we need to Frantic Search, Time Spiral, and see what happens. So start with Frantic Search. We draw 2 cards. We can Demonic Tutor for Black Lotus. So we get our, like, Boros Signet, Mind's Desire. Untap. Actually, we can Demonic Tutor for Underworld Breach, and then just keep Frantic Searching until we get everything we need into the grave. I think we do that. We don't have quite enough mana, actually, to make that work. So we just Demonic Tutor for Black Lotus to have extra mana. 1 extra mana. Yeah, cast Black Lotus. If they've got Mana Tithe, it doesn't matter if they Mana Tithe now or they Mana Tithe later. The problem is we will not have 6 mana post-Time Spiral without drawing our other Mox or our Black Lotus again. So we're going to float triple black. Then we Time Spiral, and we do this leaving a black mana floating. Because we're going to untap all our lands, and then we'll still have access to black mana. Alright. Now we got stuff. So we can play Black Lotus. Okay. Then we can Thousand Year Storm, and then either and then Frantic Search a million times. Yeah. Alright. I actually should have cracked Black Lotus and used that mana because I might have needed a different color of mana. Hopefully they do not have... I guess it wouldn't matter at this point because we're getting 1,000,000 copies of it. And by 1,000,000 I mean 4. Okay, Frantic Search. Draw. Discard. Discard. Untap, untap, untap. Float mana. Draw. Discard, discard. Untap, untap, untap. Draw, discard, discard. Untap, untap, untap. And finally, draw, discard, discard, untap, untap. Okay, I kind of messed that up a little bit, but it's fine. Preordain. We get a bunch of copies. Bottom, draw. Bottom, top, draw. Bottom, top, draw. Just unsummon all the permanents. Bottom, and then final preordain. Bottom. Okay. Desperate Ritual. Get a whole bunch of copies of Desperate Ritual. Mind's Desire. Cast practically our whole deck. Actually, all of our deck, because we'll have more copies than... Just don't cast anything that draws cards, because we'll be hellbent. Okay. Then we just brain freeze opponent. See if that works. And then we can firebolt them and flashback firebolt. I think. Yes, this works. Flashback firebolt. Alright, we got there. Sweet! Exactly as we drew it up. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alright, well, we've got a expressive iteration for round 2 here. I think I'm willing to keep this. Hand's not turbo fast or anything, but we are against control, so it's actually terrible. We're gonna lead on an island, pass the turn. Opponent, gonna play an island. Draw Tezzeret, play an island, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Library of Alexandria. We draw Mox Diamond. I wonder if I'm supposed to just Mox Diamond out Chandra here, but I'm going to play a mountain. I should have played a mountain last turn, because now if I hit a land with Expressive Iteration, it's not a double draw. Okay, because of that, I'm going to go for the Chandra play here. Okay, and I'm not going to tick up for damage, I'm going to tick up for mana. Because I don't want to exile any cards out of my deck that I potentially really would like to cast. Okay, opponent cycles a Shark Typhoon, makes a 1/1 Shark. They untap. They do have 7 cards, so they can library. And they play a tap land. And they Petty Theft Chandra and hit us for 1. Interesting. Yeah, I think we cast Chandra here. But let's play a mountain first. Because then I can uptick for mana and cast Expressive Iteration. Okay, put one of them into my hand. We will take the Swamp, one of them on the bottom, put the Steam Vents, and we will exile Black Lotus. Cast Black Lotus. That's pretty good. Alright. Pass the turn. Your move, opponent. We're very close to Time Spiral with Mystic Confluence backup. That's awesome. Alright, opponent. They library, sure. They play a forest. Attack Chandra for 1. Okay. Chandra goes to 4. We untap. Draw a mountain. So, uptick Chandra. Yeah, sure, we'll cast an LED. Oh, what can I even do here? I can play Tezzeret, but all my Lotus effects are on board. The only down tick I can get is like a Signet. It's not even good. I think I just Time Spiral, or attempt to anyway. If I wait until next turn, I can Time Spiral with Mystic Confluence back up. Whereas if my opponent goes to cast a Brazen Borrower, I can Mystic Confluence playing around Spell Pierce here. Okay, they cast Brazen Borrower, so we counter, bounce, and draw. Okay. Yeah, I mean, opponent's got to do something. We got active threats here. They play a land. They library. They play a Mirari's Wake and pass. Alright, we draw Miscalc. So I think we uptick and see what we hit. Or do we just uptick for mana? We don't even need to uptick first. We can play a land and Time Spiral. Yeah, let's do that. Before we do anything else, let's play a land and Time Spiral. Okay, this looks promising. Untap all of our cards. Play Brawl. We'll uptick for mana. Play Brawl. Then we can Frantic Search. Draw, ditch this, ditch that. Untap our islands. Then we can... We have so much mana. We can Firebolt them. Pretty sure we can just Mystic Confluence as a main phase concentrate. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. And 13 if we count Lion's Eye Diamond. Let's just Mystic Confluence concentrate. Draw a bunch of cards. We get a Demonic Tutor. I think we just Mind's Desire here. I could Demonic Tutor for Chrome Mox, exile Tezzeret the Seeker, and then Mind's Desire. And that gets the storm count a lot higher. Oh, Turnabout? I'm just having fun at this point, really. We'll get Chrome Mox. Cast a Chrome Mox. Exile Tezzeret. And then we can Mind's Desire. So triple blue. 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 Then let's see what we hit. Manamorphose. Miscalc. Land. Boros Signet. Underworld Breach. Preordain. Land. Cast Boros Signet. Cast Manamorphose. Adding black, blue. We draw Turnabout, which we can cast. Float blue, Turnabout. Land, untap. Play Underworld Breach. I didn't even need to tap for it because I'm just being silly. Then we can flashback Mind's Desire. Oh, there's that gigantic fly that's been bothering me. I missed somehow. Well, let's just flashback Mind's Desire and try and win that way. If it doesn't work, we can, I don't know, get back Black Lotus? Question mark. And if the mill out strategy doesn't work, we can cast Thousand Year Storm and then flashback Firebolt. Okay, opponent sees Brain Freeze. They don't let us see their deck. They are some sort of controlling build. Our deck is just awesome. It's so much mana. Black Lotus and LED. Alright, this hand's not bad. It has Underworld Breach, Frantic Search, which is just a combo in its own right. Not really enough stuff to get it into the grave, though. I guess we have a redraw with Manamorphose. I think I'm going to keep. We'll see about what we're going to do with this Chrome Mox. But opponent plays a Forest and a Birds. We draw Preordain. Let's play Xander's Lounge and then just pass. Opponent plays an Island and passes. We draw a Demonic Tutor. Play an Island. Cast Demonic Tutor. It's like Demonic Tutor for Black Lotus is just insane. It's so good. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent flashes in an Endurance. I think that's a little bit preemptive, actually, considering... I mean, they don't know my hand, right? But, like, I think you, in this matchup, seeing what I just did with Underworld Breach, you leave back Endurance. Okay, we draw a Mountain. We can just go for it here, right? Like, shock Steam Vents. Cast Black Lotus. Preordain. Bottom. Draw Firebolt. Red. Blue. Try and cast Breach, I think? Actually. They might need double blue for a counterspell if they don't have... what's it called? Miscalculation or mana leak? Okay, they float blue. So we're going to pass to our second... Okay, they're brainstorming. So we float blue mana, sack for triple blue, frantic search, ditching mountain, island, untap. Then we can underworld breach. Oh, hang on. Then we can underworld breach. Opponent has force of negation. Sad day. Ruining all my fun. But they have one card in hand and we're about to resolve Chandra and kill their only creature? Never mind, they have an Oko. They make a food. Draw Brain Freeze. So if I play Chandra and downtick, killing the Endurance, they just animate this food token and kill Chandra. It does make my life a lot harder. Let's Manamorphose into red-blue. Draw an island. That makes things more okay because I don't have to Chrome Mox for it. Play Chandra. Kill Endurance. Pass the turn. This is so messed up. That, like, this can effectively not have Summoning Sickness. Okay, we draw Time Spiral, so that's how we're gonna win. But I can't Chrome Mox away Brain Freeze. So we're gonna pass. They attack me for 3, I go to 9. They make another food. Draw a mountain. Okay, any untapped land or colored spell gets me to Time Spiral next turn. They animate another food, they attack me for 6, and I go to 3. That is not a colored spell. I have to Chrome Mox exiling Brain Freeze? Oh my god. This is so bad. It's my primary win condition. It's not my only win condition, but it is significantly harder to win without. Especially with no Underworld Breach. And they have Mana Drain? Oh, come on, opponent. That's not fair. You can't draw those good cards after you go down to 1 card in hand. Come on. Okay, what do we do about this? Can we do anything about this? I can technically bring in Expansion Explosion as a way to deal with their counterspells. Like, I can just, like, copy a Mana Drain and, you know, Mana Drain to their Mana Drain. Plow Under is funny, but I don't think it's good enough. I think we just try and be really fast and hope they don't have Endurance. I would like to play first. I mean, it does a lot of stuff fast, it just doesn't win the game. Underworld Breach, LED Preordain is very, very close. We're gonna keep this and put back Mystic Confluence. So I'm gonna start Island, Preordain. Brain Freeze is the combo. I'm gonna put LED on board. Pass the turn. Okay, we untap. We draw an island. We play a mountain. We Underworld Breach. They have to have Force Negation or they lose. Okay, sack LED for blue. Brain Freeze myself. Getting rid of Preordain, Island, Expressive Iteration. And we just won. I guess technically they could Force Negation Brain Freeze as well, but if they didn't have Force Negation for Underworld Breach, they don't have Force Negation for Brain Freeze. No! They have it! They have it! That's not cool, opponent. You can't just do that. Oh my god. Well, cast Black Lotus, so we at least have a Black Lotus on board. Ugh, we got the combo! We're supposed to win! You're not supposed to have free counter spells. What is this? Vintage? It's Vintage Cube, man. It's different. We draw Firebolt, pass the turn. Oh, we had it on turn 2. Opponent plays a Basalt Monolith. We draw Steam Vents. We'll shock it just to scare him. Pass the turn. So we no longer have Brain Freeze. But it plays a land. I mean, like, so this is still in our deck, but LED is not. We draw an island, play an island. So I think opponent is on the, like, Upheaval deck, actually. 7 mana. Cycle Big Shark Typhoon. We get hit for 5. Then opponent plays a Wall of Roots, a Temple Garden, and passes. We draw a swamp, play a swamp. I can't believe it. We had the combo, and we thought we were gonna get away with it too, because they didn't force the Underworld Breach. Oh, that's so unreasonable. Mindslaver? All right, you've beaten me, opponent. I'm taking at least 12. All right, I'll see you guys in round 3. All right, welcome to round 3 after the disappointment that was round 2. I think this hand is actually capable, so we're gonna keep. All right, play an island, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a swamp. Don't duress me. We get Inquisitioned. I figure they take the Signet because they're more likely to have a kill spell for Baral. They could take Expressive Iteration as well. They take the Signet. Well, we draw another island, so play an island, play Baral, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Lava Claw Reaches, has a Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay, that's not anything we didn't know. We draw Black Lotus, so play an island, play Black Lotus. This lets me leave up Mystic Confluence. I could technically have cast Time Spiral there, but I just don't think it was worth it. Okay, opponent plays Obnixilis the Adversary. So we are going to counter, draw, draw. Okay, Mountain's pretty nice. Lets me cast Expressive Iteration. We draw a Miscalc, so there's no rush on this Expressive Iteration. Opponent is playing a deck that I really like. I really, really like the Rakdos Attrition deck. It was so much fun to play when we were like skull clamping tokens and just like casting hand hate spells and braids. It's just so good. Okay, opponent casts a Wheel of Fortune. I am going to counter that because I want to draw 7 on my own terms, not yours. Opponent cracks Polluted Delta. Gets a Blood Crypt. Tapped. Okay, we untap. We draw an island. So, cast Expressive Iteration. We can draw Firebolt, Chrome Mox on the bottom, and exile Xander's Lounge. Play Xander's Lounge, and pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays an island. They Vampiric Tutor, putting a card on top of their deck, which I think we're just going to Time Spiral. So they may or may not get what they tutored for. Okay, we untap. We draw island. So play an island. Like we could try and go for like extra value and Tezzeret, but opponent has Vampiric Tutor, which is a very scary card. Okay, we've already got like almost all of the combo too. We have Breach LED, but we have no way to get Brain Freeze, so let's cast Expressive Iteration. One of them into my hand, it'll be a Miscalc. One of them on the bottom, it'll be an island, and we can exile the Signet. Play the Signet. And pass the turn. Unfortunately, if they do have more hand hate, we're probably in a little bit of trouble. Okay, opponent entombs. Well, if they're Reanimator, I really hope this is a Necromancy or a Makeshift Mannequin, because otherwise I can't counter it with Miscalc. They put Grave Titan into the grave. They play a land. I don't think it's going to be an Unburial Rites. I really don't. So we're probably going to have to contend with a Grave Titan. If that's the case, I will be cycling Azorius Signet. Okay, they reanimate Grave Titan, which I can do nothing about. So opponent loses 6 life. It's a whole bunch of zombies. Then casts Obnixilis, getting a copy with 2 loyalty. How do I beat this? Just by comboing off, right? Okay. You can have 2 Obnixilises. Obnixili? Opponent down ticks, then up ticks, I think. Okay, we discard an island. And we're gonna cycle this Miscalc. We need to find a Brain Freeze somehow. We draw Mox Diamond, draw Desperate Ritual. We have all the mana in the world, but not a Brain Freeze to be found. Okay, I think we just try and combo off an Expressive Iteration our way into a Brain Freeze. Hopefully that works. So we Desperate Ritual, Mox Diamond, ditching a land, play a land, play LED, Underworld Breach. Okay. Cast Expressive Iteration, exiling Island Miscalc Steam Vents. Mind's Desire, Demonic Tutor. Well, Demonic Tutor does it. So, Demonic Tutor into my hand, Chandra on the bottom, exile Mind's Desire. Then tap for black, cast Demonic Tutor. Go find a Brain Freeze. Brain Freeze myself a whole bunch of times. Okay, put a bunch of stuff in the grave. And opponent scoops. Nice, nice. Do we make any adjustments? I mean, maybe we want Brazen Borrower because they're reanimating stuff. That's probably better than Tezzeret. It's like we bounce a reanimated creature, we die 2 turns later as opposed to immediately. Alright, welcome back. Is this game 2 or game 3? This is game 2. Underworld Breach, Brain Freeze. We just have to find a Black Lotus or an LED, and we're on the draw. I think we keep this. We have Firebolt, if that matters. Opponent starts Mox Ruby and Tomb. That's not a good sign. Grave Titan. Alright. We draw Preordain. So, play Mountain, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Blood Crypt, shocks it. Inquisition. They take Underworld Breach. they have to. Like, they just have to take Underworld Breach or they lose. Or they're at risk of losing. They could still beat me because I could just never draw another land or Lotus or anything like that. Okay, they take Underworld Breach. Opponent knows what's up. And they reanimate a Grave Titan. Alright, we will be very dead very soon. We draw Brazen Borrower, which is unfortunately not going to do anything if we can't cast it. Firebolt a zombie token. Pass the turn. Opponent is going to get to swing with Grave Titan, though. Yeah. Okay, we didn't draw mana. It's, you know, it happens. Pitch Frantic Search. They sack Croxa. They attack for a lot. Okay, they hit me for 8. I go to 12. Even if I unsummon Grave Titan this turn. So, Manamorphose into red-blue. Petty Theft Grave Titan. I still only get 1 turn. And they have Red Elemental Blast. Alright, they got me. On to game 3. Knowing what we know now, do we make any adjustments? And I think the answer is no. Although we should keep a hand that actually does something. Not a hand that's absolutely broken if we draw 1 of 3 cards in our deck. But we got Lotus and Lion's Eye Diamond and Frantic Search. But I think we have to mulligan. Okay, I mean, turn 1 Chandra's gotta be good, right? We just put back an island? Play turn 1 Chandra and start frantically taking her up? Play Island, play Black Lotus, crack Lotus for red, play Chandra, uptick for damage. But we will not cast an Azorius Signet, pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a tap land, that's a good sign, I think. We untap, draw Frantic Search, So, play a mountain, uptick. We hit a mountain. So, cast expressive iteration. We can put swamp in our hand, borrower on the bottom, exile LED, and cast LED. Then pass the turn. Chandra, very close to ult. And then we just cast 3 spells and our opponents die, right? Okay, we untap, draw Chrome Mox, play a Swamp, uptick Chandra. Okay. Then we pass the turn. And unless they have a Mox, they can't animate Lava Claw Reaches. Opponent braids to destroy LED. Okay. It's actually fine. We just need them to not damage Chandra. And then we can win by casting whatever derpy stuff we can find. Opponent plays a Luris. Okay, that's not a thing that will kill us or damage Chandra. I'm going to cycle Xander's Lounge. We draw an island, untap, we drop a Brawl, ult Chandra, play an island, play Brawl, shoot our opponent for 5, Frantic Search, shoot our opponent for 5, and the game is over. Hey, we did it! Turn 1 Chandra is, in fact, a good play. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream generally about once a week, right on Sundays right now. I have no idea if I do that right now, when you're listening to this, because it'll be far in the far-flung future of 2001, A Space Odyssey. But, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. We had Black Lotus, we had Storm, we got cheated out of something we absolutely should have won. But, you know, I'll take it because it's Vintage Cube and it's silly. So, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I have a link to my Discord down in the description if you want to contact me directly or if you want to hang out with the people that you see on my stream videos from Twitch chat. They're all wonderful. They hang out there, and it's kind of like that, but every day of the week. And I also have a link to my Patreon if you want to support me directly. So, thank you all so much for watching. You're all wonderful human beings, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!